Hey there, this is Craig Shoemaker, new media evangelist for Infragistics. And before we get started, there's just a few things I want to share with you. If you have any questions about this screencast, please feel free to email me at cshoemaker@infragistics.com. For support, you can head over to infragistics.com/gethelp. And if you're looking for documentation on any one of our controls, you can go to infragistics.com/docs. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hey there, and welcome to the introduction to the Web Image Viewer control. Let's start out with a demo so you can see what we're going to build. You know, everybody's got those cars that as a kid you wish you could drive, and so I got some images here together. We've got the DeLorean from Back to the Future. We've got Kit from Knight Rider, and then, you know, obviously we've all wanted to drive that 1978 Ford Pinto with the rainbow pinstripe. Okay, well maybe not, but this does show you how the Web Image Viewer will work. When you highlight over one of the images, it kind of grays out a little bit the rest of the images to make it clear which one you're highlighting over. You can drag them, you can use the buttons to scroll through, and you'll notice that it does a continuous loop, and the control works really nice. So let's go ahead and show you how to create what we've done here. So what I'm going to show you to do is how to set this up declaratively by using just straight ASPX tags, and then also show you how you can do it through the code behind. All right, so let's get started. Let's see, I'm running Visual Studio 2008. I have NetAdvantage 2008 Volume 2 installed, and all of this is running against the .NET 3.5 framework. I'd like to start by creating a new website, and we'll just call this WIV Demo. And so the first thing that we want to do is add a script manager onto the page. And this is necessary because the control will use a lot of JavaScript to handle the interaction of scrolling through the images and things of that nature. I didn't even worry about putting an ID on there because there's only going to be one on the page, and the framework will worry about sorting all that out. So the next thing that we need to do is add the Web Image Viewer onto the page. So I'm going to switch over to the design mode and drag it on. And design mode's a good idea when you drag these controls onto the page, at least the first time, because then you get a dialog like this that tells you it's loading in the appropriate style sheets. So we'll let that do its work. Now we've got Image Viewer on the page. So I'm going to drop back into source just so you can see everything that's going on. Clean up the markup just a little bit. As far as height is concerned, I'll let the images sort that out, and for the width I want it to be 420 pixels. And then all we need to do is add image items. So we can add items and an image item. The image URL can either be a URL on the web, or it can be a relative URL to your application. So I know that I can do images/car1.png, and we'll add two more in there. So let's go up here to our project, add a new folder called images, and then I'm going to come over and grab images off the file system and paste them in there. Okay, so there's one other thing that I want to do. I'm going to add a small style just to give the images some margin so that they're not butting right up against each other. So I'll come in here and create a style block. And create this class, and we'll just say margin 10 pixels. So now when I come into the image item, I can do CSS class equals image or img, and just copy that to each one of these guys. Okay, let's run it and see how it looks. And there we go. Basically have the same thing that we started out with in the demo. Pretty easy to get the images in there, and really there's nothing else you have to do. You have all this functionality for free. Another thing that you might want to do is add a navigate URL. So if you want to make something that's clickable, then you can set one of these images to go to infragistics.com. Why not? So when we add that in, So you have your images here, you can scroll through them, but if you double click on the DeLorean, you get sent over to Infragistics. Okay, so that's with markup. So let me show you how to do it in code. So we'll delete this items collection. Switch over to the code view, and I've got my generic collection there. So I'm going to create a generic list of string. And I'll just call this URLs. And create up my URLs. Car 1. Two and 3. And now all I have to do is iterate through the collection, adding it to the items collection to our control. Now before we can iterate through them, let's bring in a using statement. So we'll say using Infragistics web UI list controls, and from there we'll be able to declare an image item. So we'll just call this one an item, instantiate a new one, passing in the URL into the argument, as well as the alternate string and tooltip. For right now, I'm just going to pass in empty strings because this is a demo. And then for the item, we'll add the CSS class, and that was just img. And we'll also, we should call this item, just to keep it clear. And also we'll just make each one have a navigate URL to the same thing, just to keep it simple right here. But if we navigate the URL and say that we're going to check out MSN because it's easy to type, and then just add it to the items collection each time. Let's check it out and see how it looks. So there you go. There, it's added programmatically as well as declaratively, and now we should be able to double click on this and go to msn.com. Well, I hope that shows you everything you need to know to get started using the controls. As always, we'll be continually producing more of these short little how-tos, and if you've got any questions or feedback, please make sure to send me an email. Thanks a lot, and I'll be showing you more stuff soon.
Infragistics, powering the presentation layer. Infragistics.com